built to serve.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to First Things First. Shannon Wolf alongside Nick Wright, Kevin Wilds, Antoine Walker is with us. We made it to Friday, and lucky for us and lucky for you, we've got a wonderful jam-packed show this morning. Coming up, is it title or bust for Giannis? We will let you know. Are the Yankees and the Dodgers on a World Series collision course? After one game, asking for a friend. And Michael Vick will join us in a little bit to talk about one of the biggest questions heading into the NFL season. Who's going to have a better start, Cam or Tom Brady? But we start this morning with a little Bron in the bubble. LeBron James and Anthony Davis combining for 24 points in the first half of the Lakers scrimmage loss to the Mavericks last night. Hey, guys, we talked going into the game about what we expected from LeBron last night, and he didn't miss a beat, clearly. Nick, start with you. How did the King look in his bubble debut?
Oh, how did he look? What an interesting phrase, Jenna. What an interesting question, because obviously he played great. The greatest player in the league and the greatest player ever, picked up right where he left off, reminding everyone he's still the best player alive. But that was not my takeaway from yesterday. My takeaway from yesterday was LeBron James appears to me to be engaged in a level of psychological warfare against the rest of the NBA. Because here's how LeBron James looked. Like a senior citizen. Did you see the beard? Like, LeBron, for the record, is the exact age I am. If I showed up from quarantine looking like that, he's not filling in his bald spot. He's letting the hair show what it actually is. The beard, I mean, that looks, he's 35 years old. And I think it is intentional to remind all the young bucks of the league, listen, I might be an old man, but I am still bigger, I am still stronger, I am still faster. Antoine, look at these other famous people around LeBron James's age. Can we show the graphic of other people age around LeBron's age? I mean, he's younger than everyone on this list aside from Michael B. Jordan. He's a decade younger than Mahershala Ali. And look at these are the guys, they're all older than LeBron except for Michael B. Jordan. And look at him.
I love this tape.
He looks like he's 50. And so Antoine, for a guy who is always, he has shown the ability to, adjust his hairline and look however he wants to look. I truly believe this is an intentional psychological swipe at Giannis and Kawhi and Harden and all the younger next generation of stars in the league. I
love it.
Your take on that, Antoine?
Honestly, Nick, I'm going to tell you what this is. This is the bubble. Being in the bubble, he cannot have the maintenance that he needs to take care of his hair, his beard.
No
They
shot,
can't come in the
Luka got a haircut.
No, they cannot come in the bubble. So he said, you know what?
They built a barbershop.
let the great. Yeah, but that's not LeBron's guy. That makes him look magical, that makes him look like he's got a full head of hair. So he could not bring his guys to the bubble. So that's why he's stuck right now. So he's probably saying, look, you know what? I'm going to let the gray show. I'm going to have to let the ball spot go. And you gotta blame it on the bubble. It's tight. You're not letting no outside people in. So guarantee you, once the families are able to come, that beard will be black. Guarantee it.
Oh, I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet. I'll take that. I think it's going to go longer and grayer. It'll look like ZZ Top eventually. All right, Nick, what you were saying, that he's sending a warning to Giannis and Harden. The Harden warning is interesting. It's like, oh, you're the guy with the beard? I'm the guy with the beard. Not only am I going after you're going to win the ring, I'm also going to take your whole brand and marketing. But seriously, Antoine, I wanted to get your take on this, because it's a funny take, but I think it has some it does have some roots in truth. I want to put up the picture of Tatum and LeBron that Tatum posted this when he was 14. He's like, hey, follow me. It's me, Larry Hughes' nephew. When you were playing in the league, and you famously played against, I think, Jordan, your first game, was there a guy that you looked up to when you were growing up or coming up that you had a problem playing against because you were sort of in awe of someone? Is that an actual factor in a game?
Oh, without question. I was in awe of the Chicago Bulls. Growing up in Chicago and just watching them play, and then now my first game was against the Chicago Bulls. It was just playing against them. I was at awe. I couldn't believe I was on the floor against Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman. So I could that definitely plays a factor in young guys when you get an opportunity to play against some of your childhood heroes or the teams that you always fascinated being by. So I definitely believe that's true. For me, it was the Chicago Bulls. Being able to be on the floor with them after watching them and rooting for them, winning 3 titles, and now my first game was against them. So it definitely was that.
Hey, can I bring this back to just the game last night? Because it was exciting to finally watch LeBron get back out there. I think we might have been worried a little bit whether he would actually play. Oh, he played, and he and Anthony Davis played exactly the way we thought, even though it just was for a first half. Nick, I'll ask you, are you worried about the depth behind those two guys who you know can carry a team, but maybe the guys behind them, does that concern you at all?
Well, listen, the Lakers, even pre-Avery Bradley opting out and Rondo getting hurt, and Rondo might be a bit of addition by subtraction, no offense to your guy, Antoine. I guess there was a little offense there, but no offense intended to your guy, Antoine. They already were not, and it was offense. You're right. It is what it is. They were already not an incredibly deep team. But luckily, they have the best player in the league, the best big in the league, and the best duo in the league. And listen, and I know you said back to the game, but I really believe showing the grays in the beard the way he did was intentional, because he's going to play more minutes in the playoffs than anybody else. He's going to have a higher workload than anybody else because, Jenna, they don't have incredible depth, and he is the only reliable, proven ball handler they've got. And he's just reminding the whole league, I am built differently than all you guys. In a pre-media scrum or pre-game scrum, it wasn't, you couldn't quite tell if he said, I'm still the fastest guy out there or the baddest guy out there. There was kind of a debate amongst people who were there for it. But the answer is yes, both, all of the above. And so, yeah, the Lakers are going to be in trouble in the 6 to 8 minutes a game LeBron sits to find playmaking to get the ball to Anthony Davis in the right spots. But Wilds, I don't. Oh God! But I don't think that LeBron's going to be sitting much. Who's the playmaker? Who's the playmaker?
You know who it is. You know who it is. It's the guy who had 9 points in 13 minutes. The guy who hit the shot at the buzzer. Wasn't the final buzzer, but it was still a buzzer. And, you know, just like yesterday, Joakim Noah did the per 36. Look at these stats. 24 points, 8 rebounds. The threes, 33%, but that'll go up once he gets a little warmed up. Antoine, in all seriousness, you need a guy who's not afraid of LeBron. He's not afraid of the moment. Maybe he's a little too not afraid. But, I love Dion on this team. Nick doesn't like him. Nick wants to a la carte who he likes on the Lakers and who he doesn't. I love Dion. I'm rooting for him, which I guess means I'm rooting for the Lakers.
I think they need Dion even more. I think the pickup was just to have another guy when they saw the Clippers making a move. But now they don't need him to score. That 6 to 8 minutes you talked about, Nick, they're going to need him to come on the floor and be aggressive. He's going to have that Lou Williams type of mentality. He has to have the Lou Williams type of mentality, but I like him for the same. Obviously, he's got to be aggressive on the floor, take shots, not be afraid to make plays, because it is going to be a stretch where it's probably 6 to 8 minutes where you're not going to have LeBron on the floor. And this is going to be the biggest test for Frank Vogel. One thing, the Lakers looked very good yesterday. I thought their size showed. I think to be able to play JaVale McGee, obviously Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis, they could be long. They could be very dominant on the defensive end. You definitely can see that. But Frank Vogel has to figure out what's going to be the right rotations, what's going to be the right lineups on the floor.
And that's
J.R. Smith didn't look good, but it's going to be very tough. And then, obviously, J.R. Smith did not look good yesterday. But the great thing about it, you got a couple of scrimmage games, and then you got 8 games to get ready for the playoffs. He's going to have to really play these guys. I know they want to lock up the number 1 seed, but he needs to use these 8 games to make sure that he finds a rotation that works.
And the 8 games for the Lakers, they're all scrimmage games. They're 5.5 up on the Clippers. And so, like, they with 8 to play. So they're the 1 seed. If they went 1-7 in the 8, they'd be the 1 seed. So they can experiment during it. Just quickly on Dion, I don't know if we can show the video again. Listen, the buzzer-beating 3 was great. But the first shot he took was the reason Dion Waiters makes my chest tight when he comes on the court for a team I'm rooting for. That's fine. Good shot there, Dion. But this first shot, it's in the flow of the offense. You're going to see it. It's dribble, 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 contested long 2. Now, he happened to make it. This is terrible. This is terrible. Look at Anthony Davis. He's like, I could have the ball. That is bad offense. What? Oh, it's terrible. It's not winning basketball. Listen, and so it just makes me nervous. Wilds, you said he has confidence. He is, to quote your friend Bill Simmons, the ultimate irrational confidence guy. And it is so over the top that it makes me anxious because they are, in those 4 to 6 to 8 minutes a game, Jenna, going to be relying, I can't believe I'm saying this, take a deep breath, on Dion Waiters.
It's so entertaining when those kind of guys stress you out. Hey, speaking of older athletes.